Well, I kind of dropped the ball on this project, but I thought I would do a follow-up. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was fun to build, but I never really came up with, I guess, a good video to do with it. Benchmarks, I thought it'd be boring, and I mean, it does what it needs to do, so yeah. But I thought I'd at least get one more video out of this setup before I start cannibalizing it, since I think I'm going to be stealing the battery backup for my office rack setup, and then I need to do something with that rack mount gaming PC. But yeah, so I thought in this video I would go over some numbers on what I think this would cost to build. Some of the prices are gonna be spot on. Some of the prices are kind of but yeah. Anyways, so this rack case, a little better zoom there. Actually, I have. Let's see here. So this is from the manufacturer's website. It's a 24U mobile rack case, and basically with the configuration that it has right now, retail would be $13.50, but I think a person could pick one of these up for around $600 used. And then you got the monitor and monitor mount. This VESA rack mount for the monitor is looking around $60 online. The monitor's nothing special. You can probably pick one of those up on Facebook or something used locally for around $10 with or without the speaker bar. Then we got the 2U blank under the monitor. Those seem to be about $10. You can pick those up from like mono price, fairly cheap from what I was seeing. Just move this out of the way. The rack shelf or rack pull-out rack table, I didn't really know what to call it, but I think these are going for around $50 from what I was seeing. Then the next blank down, it's a 3U blank. It's still, you're looking around $10 for one of those. The R430 servers are really hard to price. I probably priced it a little aggressively at $300, but it has a 6-core Xeon, 64 gigs of RAM, 4 2TB drives, and I believe it also has, let's see here. Yeah, it has a 40 gig. It does have an SSD in it, in the optical drive bay. I put a little adapter in there just so I could throw an SSD in there. So I think, I don't know, 300 might be a little high, but I don't think it's too far off. Then under that, there's a 3U rack shelf. I think 35 is kind of conservative value. Then we got the rack mount gaming PC, which is an i7 4770, 16 gigs of RAM, 240 gig solid state drive with a 1063 gig. I kind of pegged that at $250. It's probably a little high, although it's all in perspective. So the case that I bought, that I should have honestly probably just went with this one, but the case that I bought that's similar to this, I paid $260 for, and that's not even with rails. I figure the motherboard CPU combo in this is worth at least $100. GPU, I think the 1060s when I was looking were like $50. So it's kind of, whatever. 250 seemed like a good number. Another blank, and those are $10. Although I imagine a blank with holes in it might cost more. The battery backup, I have that down at $250. It's an older model, so it's not worth a lot. It has almost $100 worth of batteries in it, so that's where the $250 comes from. Because you should be able to pick up an APC 1500 VA battery backup online for around $150. You're probably not going to get a faceplate or rack gears at that price, but if you're patient, you can. All right, there's a few more things in the back. So this Furman, he's right around $90 used, especially if the LEDs still work, since those tend to burn out. The 24-port PoE switch, that one surprised me. These have dropped in value. You can pick them up for $60 with rack gears, which is kind of crazy because I'm selling the rack gears for $50 almost. But yeah, the AP, I didn't bother looking it up. This is a pretty crusty old Ingenious. I think it's wireless and capable access point. I just slapped a price of $10 on it. And then another 1U blank with holes for cables to go through. Another $10, I figure. And then I was a little aggressive on cables. I think I'm gonna take that 40 and turn it into 20. I don't know. I kind of just winged it. There's a couple power cords and Cat 6A network cables and stuff. But yeah, so I figure this is probably worth around just shy of 1,800 used with the stuff in it. And I mean, it'll do what it needs to do. It's not going to win any contests by any means, but if you just needed a nice, reliable NAS and a basic PC, can't do too bad. Really, the only shortcomings of this setup is just money. You know, I mean, a person could spend a lot more money on this to make it better. It'd be nice to have a rack drawer in this so you could store cables and stuff. Maybe find a wireless keyboard and mouse that would fit in a rack drawer, since this full-size keyboard doesn't even fit between the rails. I mean, obviously more powerful hardware is always the goal, but this is just something I slapped together with spare parts. So the next thing I'm going to do before I start cannibalizing this is I need to power everything down, and then I have this fancy wheelchair scale over here. I want to see what this weighs. So yeah, that'll be the next clip. Well, not the best setup. I'm a little tight on space here, but got the scale laid out and it's zeroed out. Just throw my phone in the tripod. And before I actually weigh it, I'm going to make my prediction of what I think this is going to weigh. Oh, I think the battery backup weighs around 40 pounds. Server probably weighs 25. Desktop probably weighs 30. It's 100 pounds just there. I'm going to guess 350 pounds. And you'll get to see what I weigh as I walk over the scale. Alright, let's see if I can get this on the scale without having too much fun. I think getting it up the bump's going to be a challenge. This is meant for wheelchairs, not things with 3-inch casters. Honestly, the fact that this is heavy is part of the problem. But the other part of the problem is, oh, it's awkward. I hurt myself trying to do this properly. Well, we know what part of this weighs, plus me. Put 2 wheels on. I think the rest of it will work itself out. Whoop, don't trip on the cord. I found a longer cord. Come on down to the Price is Wrong. Oh. Stay. That wasn't too far off. Somewhere around 368 pounds. So that's kind of impressive. I would guess that if you had more high-end hardware density in this, it'd be a lot heavier. Because like something that somebody would more likely put in this case would be like amplifiers and light controllers and like roadshow stuff for musicians. But oh, it was fun trying to get it on the scale. Um, but yeah, that kind of, I guess, is the conclusion of this project. I don't really know what else to do with it because, I mean, the NAS was more than capable of pushing gigabit speeds. The computer was capable of editing videos as fast as you would expect with a 4th gen i7 and a 1060. Really was nothing notable about it. It was more fun to build than anything else, I guess. I didn't really have a good plan going in, so it's probably why the outcome of the video didn't really accomplish anything. But I guess if you have any other requests on the video, let me know. But this is slowly gonna get cannibalized for parts here as time progresses. So hopefully that's interesting, and thanks for watching.